Once I was on a flight from Delhi to Bhopal, and someone told me, first they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, and then you win. This was a random stranger who, I started talking to at the age of, 17, telling him about how worried. He just saw the look on my face and he was like, you look so worried and look really low. If you don't mind, can I ask you what's going on? And I think at that point, I was just looking for someone to talk to. And I turned around and I told him, I had cancer 10 years before. Or at that time, not 10 years before. I had cancer and, I swore to my mom I'll be on the cover of Forbes. I started this company and I don't know what's going to happen to it. We booked our first flight. The flight didn't happen. And a myriad of other problems that just kept coming to my mind again and again in exactly the same pace. He turned around and he told me, he said, why don't you go slowly? Tell me what's going on. And then I told him my story about how I left home to start this company soon after recovering from my treatment. And I hustled my way through. And just when I thought it was getting started, and the first flight never actually happened because the person who had promised us the airplane did not deliver. And I was the one who lost face. And I said, now I don't know if this is going to work. I'm going to get a bad reputation in the market. But, I want to keep going. I don't know what to do, etc., etc. And I think it was, him wanting to motivate me or wanting to make me feel better about myself that he actually told me this. Now, when I look back, it makes so much sense. I started the company at the age of 21 when, private jets were unheard of and mobile applications even less. My own father would joke and say that I think she's building a mobile game or something of that sort because no one really understood what a mobile app was. And I had this dream that I would connect all private jet users to private jet owners, build the next Facebook, like all of us think, and the whole tech boom, etc., etc. Little did I know that it's easier said than done, and it's not going to be as simple as I thought it was going to be. But like they say, stay hungry, stay foolish. I always thought somewhere in my heart I would succeed. But when I actually managed to get someone to book the first flight after months of perseverance, trying to put something together, etc., etc., the first flight actually did not happen. That was all the reason I needed to actually give up, quit, not continue with this company, etc. I remember going to sleep thinking, what is the world going to say? What is everyone going to think? When I went to people to sign up for the application, to list their aircraft, to book aircrafts, people would laugh at me saying, oh, why don't you make cupcakes? You're so young, you're so innocent. How is this going to work for you? Are you sure it's going to work? And it would just put, every night I would go to sleep with a mountain of fears in my head. And every morning I would wake up telling myself, you know what, this is all nonsense. I'm going to succeed. I'm going to make this happen. This is going to work out. And it took a lot of perseverance and motivation to keep going. Then the second flight got booked, and the second flight actually went off really, really well. So much so that the person came and told me that, I want to know more, all about your company. I want to be part of the story. I've never seen service like this. I think you're changing the way private aviation works. And that got me thinking that, is it really that hard? Can I not make it work? And I'm talking to you about this happening, 8 to 9 years ago. At that time, I didn't even have an office. I remember I would answer the phone with different names because I didn't want people to think it's a one-person company. I did not understand the D of development or the C of coding. I was dependent on friends to help me code the app, put it together. All I knew was that, I had to make this work. And I knew that I had this self-belief that, there was a space in the market which I can conquer. I didn't know how, I didn't know where, I didn't know when. And I always remember having more fears than less. The third flight happened and we had a technical issue with the flight. The passenger traveled from A to B, but we could not bring him back from B to A. That gave me all the more reason to not do this. I was like, 3 out of 2 flights have gone wrong, things aren't going well. And, I can't even make enough money to afford an office, leave alone staff, etc., etc. I told myself I have to keep going. I have to conquer my fears, turn my dream into reality. This has to work one way or the other. I remember then hiring my first employee, and I asked him to take a pay cut of 50% because I couldn't afford to pay him what he wanted. And I spoke to a friend and took a desk out of his office. We didn't have the concept of co-working spaces or shared offices at that time. And what I was doing was pretty unheard of. Both of us would crouch in front of a computer and share a computer, literally, and reply to emails, work the market, try to conquer different customers, different aircraft, see what we can do. He didn't know English. He could barely write emails. He could speak a few words of English. He would literally look into my computer, see the words I'm using, and try to replicate those words the next day and pick up from there. I once asked him that, why do you struggle so much? And why are you so worried about not knowing English? He said, "Man, my English is my biggest fear. And, if I can conquer that, then I think half my job is done." Today, that same human being speaks better English than most of us in the office, draws about 20 times the money he was drawing then, and is one of the key employees of the organization who all our customers have on speed dial. Going back, from that two people office, we slowly moved on to four people, to six people, and so on. I remember every 4 to 5 months we would outgrow the office, and I would always think it to be a problem. But actually, now when I look back, it's a boon. I mean, the more people you're hiring, that means it's a sign of progress, and the bigger the office space you need, that's a clear indicator of progress. Everyone at that point ignored us. The whole market tried to make fun of us, saying that what is she trying to do? She's a young girl trying to change the market, which is trying to create a market which does not exist. People made remarks like she's playing with dad's money, and once the money runs out, then what's going to happen, and things like that. It was very hard at that time to keep my team from falling apart, to stay confident. Every single night I would go to sleep thinking, I hope this is going to work. Is this going to work? And every single morning I had to be my biggest motivator, my biggest strength, and keep telling myself this has to work. When we slowly succeeded, got a few aircraft under our wings for management, etc., people continue to laugh at us, telling us that, again, she's playing with dad's money. It's all going to fall apart. This is never going to work. What is she trying to do? Does she even know what she's doing? Why? Because we were questioning old standards every single day. We were questioning all methods of doing business every single day. We were questioning everything that was considered normal every single day. By that time, a plane getting spoiled did not scare me. Every day was a new normal. Things that would scare me earlier would no longer, be fearful for me. They were like jokes in the day. Simple example is that, earlier when a plane would get spoiled and we couldn't execute a flight, all hell would break loose in my head, and I would be so scared. I would be like, oh my God, what do I do now? I would be in complete panic mode and, running around helter-skelter, worrying everyone around me, etc. Fast forward 2 to 3 years later, if a plane got spoiled, I wouldn't even know about it, would handle it. And it was such a new normal. And that made me realize that, you've got every fear turns into reality and then slowly turns into success depending on the way you look at it. My biggest fear was an aircraft getting spoiled mid-flight. My biggest fear was an employee leaving. I remember when the first time we had an employee resign from the office. It was so scary for me. I was like, why did he resign? What's gone wrong? What did I do wrong? Where did we mess up? I took such good care of him. Never once did I think that he could have done something wrong or he could have a personal problem. To me, it was about me. What? And we get so self-absorbed in ourselves. We get so self-absorbed thinking that what do we do? What did we do wrong? That we forget that there's another side to things, there's another party to things. And those are the fears we create for ourselves. Then I remember 2 years later meeting that employee again and him telling me that, look, ma'am, I left thinking that, I'll be able to get more money and do better, etc. But there's never been an organization like yours that I've worked with. And I would be very grateful if you gave me a chance to come back and join you. And that made me realize that, again, it was such a silly fear to have. I was so self-absorbed in thinking that everything revolves around me, everything in the universe has to do with me, that I completely overlooked the fact that it could be someone else also that gets involved. At that point, in the initial stages, the first 2 years of the company, we had about 3 to 4 aircrafts that we were managing. We had a small market share. We had a team of about 20-25 people. And I thought things were okay. I never really thought we could grow further or what would happen. Year on year from then, with people trying to fight us to an extent where, I remember people were trying to destroy our aircrafts, call up our customers, poach our employees, bribe our employees, malign the employees, to an extent where people were putting pressure on the regulator to not let us succeed. Every single person in the ecosystem was trying to fight us. But what we had going in our favor was excellent vendors and excellent customers. Our customers believed that, we were able to succeed, we were able to deliver on what we promised, and we would not fall back on our word. And our customers became our biggest success. Over a period of 5 to 6 years from then, from being just a 1-2 aircraft operator to a 3 aircraft operator, we became India's largest aircraft operator. I remember a member of mine jokingly telling me, do you even know how many zeros are there in a crore? We had a turnover of many, many crores. We became the single largest market shareholder in the world, in India. And we were delivering more flights than I ever dreamed possible. Earlier on in the day, I used to know exactly which flight is happening, who's traveling, where is the person going from point A to point B, because we were probably executing one flight in 2 days or one flight in 3 days. Now, we average a plane in the sky every minute of the day, and I don't necessarily know what is operating where, how is it going, what's happening, because I've got a great team taking care of it. And all of this happened in the progress of fighting my own fears, waking up each morning thinking, will this go right? Will this go right? COVID happened, for example. And then, this was after the company had reached relative success and we were doing well. Every single person in the aviation industry got scared. Everyone cut down salaries. Everyone laid off people. And I remember waking up to this harsh reality and telling myself that these are the people because of whom we've created this organization. These are the people because of whom we've succeeded. These are the people because of whom we're able to work each day and do whatever we're doing. Do I really want to cut salaries? Do I really want to lay them off? Do I really not want to help them succeed? They're under as much pressure as I am. They're as scared as I am, if nothing else. Will it be the right thing to do? And I took a very conscientious decision where, I said, I'm not going to lay off people. I'm not going to cut salaries. Till I have money in the bank, I'm going to make sure every single employee is rewarded and taken care of. 3 months later, planes were back in the sky. Things were going normal. Every organization saw people leave. Every organization saw people walk out. Every organization saw redundancy, attrition, etc. We succeeded. We had a whole team together, fighting stronger, bigger, better, going out there to succeed, to make us win, to achieve, simply because I didn't let my fear of not being able to succeed come in the way. I said I had a dream that I wanted to build. I had a team which helped me build that dream. And it is my job to ensure that I don't let my fears take over and not keep up my word to them. When they joined me, I never said that I will not, if the world doesn't do well, I won't pay you salaries, or I won't do this, or I won't do that. I've got to keep up my word. And today, as we stand, we've come out successful after COVID. We're back to profitability. We're doing well. And we're succeeding with a team of very, very strong, resilient people who I know will be there for us, irrespective of what the market says or what the situation is. My only learning in the process of building this company, with all the tags that come along with it, with all the fights that come along with it, has been that it's up to you to be your biggest believer, your biggest motivator. Keep going and make sure you convert every fear into success and every dream into reality. Thank you so much.